from PDX Airport. We're here with Katie Arms. My name's Gary Moore with Journey More Often. We thought we'd give you a little treat because what we do normally when we go to different places is we have something special near the end. Okay, so sometimes it's we'll get a hotel room that's bigger than normal. So we just kind of have a little fun with that. And Vino Volo is one of those things that we do special at the end. We're staying at friends and family this past week. So it wasn't about the hotel this time, but Vino Volo is a great way to cap off a vacation, and they are located. How many locations do you have across the country?
The last I heard, we have 52 locations in U.S. and Canada and various airports, only airports.
Okay, yeah. So and that's exactly right. So normally, as everybody knows, we try and focus more on. We try. Oh, yeah, and joining with me is Diane with Journey More Often as well. We do try and focus on more locally owned and operated, but that's really hard to do here. And they do feature locally owned wines in Vino Volo, so we are getting a little bit of that. But when you try and go to an airport, it just doesn't exist. You're not going to get a mom and pop kind of vineyard sitting here. And Diane and I have been around the world a couple of times, and we love to hang out at Vino Volo because Vino Volo has a lot of pretty cool stuff. I'm going to show you this. This is ridiculous, okay?
The crackers do fall off sometimes.
The crackers fall off, yeah.
The easy thing is
that was,
to get more crackers.
Yeah, that was crackers. Some of them didn't fall off. Anyway, the charcuterie board is available here, and as you can see, it's really kind of nice, and we'll be eating that at some point when we during the broadcast. Anyway, so we are here, and we want to talk to Katie. Katie, you guys serve a lot of people during the day.
We sure do. It's kind of funny to work in a bar setting where you don't have as many regulars, but we get some business travelers who love Vino Volo across the country.
Right.
But yeah, we do. We see a lot of people going all kinds of places here. It's fun to have some single serving friends occasionally as well.
Yeah, right. So I know I've been when I used to travel a lot for business. I was here, but Diane and I do it a lot. We hang out at Vino Volo as often as we can.
We like sitting out in those.
We do. We love those because we like to just watch. We like to watch people go by, and as we go through this podcast, you're going to see some people walking by because we're actually in a real airport and it's still going. And you have somebody who's. Some of the staff that work here, you're going to see everybody. You're going to see the strange guy on his phone not paying attention to anybody. That happens once in a while as well. Anyway,
she's the most important person that works at the airport.
Yeah, she probably is. Yeah, she's going to clean up after all of us.
Sure does.
So what we have here, let's start. We have, and we're in like a section, an out section for Vino Volo. So Vino Volo has what you see behind us, and then we have this really cool section that is quite expansive. I mean, it's probably the largest I've seen for a Vino Volo for extra seating.
Same for me. I've been to lots of the Vino Volos around the country, and we are really lucky that we can, with our OLCC, our liquor commission here, we can license some areas that we can still see from behind the bar.
Right.
And so we've got this whole little area out here where people can bring wine as well.
So is that the condition? You have to see them from behind the bar?
It actually is the condition. You have to be able to see them.
So what you don't know is we talked a lot about liquor licenses and the conditions that did the various state liquor boards put on the establishments, and it's really hysterical. Some of the individual aspects, like seeing the seats from the bar, and you can, by the way, I'm looking around, and all the seats are within bar view, which is that's hysterical.
We just have to make sure nobody's passing things along to somebody who's too young.
Absolutely, because it is a bar, and you're
sure
serving people over 21, and that's that's the condition that they put on that, which is fine.
Some people are used to traveling through Vegas or like New Orleans, and they're able to carry it around wherever they want in the airport. So
and you could do that during COVID too. I think they loosened it up. They had drinks to go in some places, and you're like,
that was fun.
It was the wild it was the wild west, and then all the liquor boards said, okay, COVID's over, no more fun.
Yeah.
So all right, I'm drinking the Syrah blend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And It's a 2020. The wineries, I don't even Logoril.
It's the lingerie. That is the
lingerie.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I don't speak French well, so this is a French Syrah from 2020.
So yeah, they do have wines from different places. Thank you for like throwing
Oh my
that.
gosh,
Like,
it's
right
called
underneath.
lingerie.
Yeah.
But that's not the name of the producer. But
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the name of the wine itself. Okay, and it's a French wine. But there's like all these wines that are available. So you get like the map kind of thing with both food and wines that you can choose from. And let me tell you, it's no different than if you go to a restaurant or a bar. I mean, the prices are pretty similar.
Yeah.
I mean, but the prices are similar in that sometimes there's an upscale wine that you're going to pay more for, but most of the wines are pretty reasonable. It's not.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I would say, we have here at this location, and every state is different because of liquor laws. We have retail, and you can pull a bottle from the retail shelf here at PDX and enjoy it in-house if you'd like.
Ooh.
All the white wines we have cold.
Okay.
But then also we have an expansive tasting options, whether you want to do a flight or you want to just have a glass of something, which is
Right.
so nice.
And we've done actually both.
Yeah.
We've done both.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, our favorite is the cushy chairs. Those are the first to go. Let me tell you.
Sure are. Unless someone needs that dark corner to work or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, except for that
Yeah.
that person who's
Yeah.
like, don't bother me with my glass of wine and my laptop. But out there is where most people sit first, and then after that it fills in, and then this fills in after that. Wow. Now we have been here. I don't know if we've been here when it was full inside, but we've been to Vino Volos where they were full, and you couldn't get a seat. There was literally waiting room only, and it's a great spot because you can just relax.
Right.
Well, and you're getting quality wine at Vino Volo, and not to say that. Whatever. We'll just skip that part. But sometimes when you go to, say, a chain restaurant and their kind of smaller version in the airport or whatever, they're really restricted in what they can do, and they're probably slinging margaritas and cocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is an actual wine bar, and we carry wines from all over the world, and we have such a nice selection.
So if you carry wine, I feel like you have to put your money where your mouth is because you got to have good wine, right?
good
If you're
wine.
saying if Vino Volo is the name, you've got to actually have good wine. So, and that's part of the purpose is that you don't have to worry about it. If you're going to get a wine here, just find the one you like, and it's going to be good.
And how long have you been here with Vino Volo?
Me, I have been here almost a year.
Okay.
I was traveling through and really enjoyed spending time here, and I got to the point where I was looking for something kind of part-time, and I reached out to Jamie, who's the manager here, and I said, hey, can I have a job? And she was like, sure. So that's I started working here in September last year.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So we actually connected. Jamie and I connected on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. It was like I think we tagged something or something that you guys had. We liked something that you guys had done because we liked something you guys had done.
Or else we
And then-
hashtagged you guys.
and then,
that said we were there.
Then when we flew in, I connected with Jamie. Jamie's not here today. It's her day off. She deserves a day off. Oh, yep. There's the. Yay.
We're at the airport.
We're at the airport. At least they're not calling our names. We were at Vino Volo a couple of years ago, sitting, enjoying, having a glass of wine, and the airplane decided to board early. Okay, so now she goes.
That never happened.
Right?
Yeah, it never
Yeah,
does.
so apparently everyone had checked in and everyone was at the gate except for us. And so they were calling our names over the intercom. We're just sitting there having a good glass of wine, enjoying it.
We were finishing up. though.
We were finishing up and we were getting ready to head there. And then Diane went out for a second and she heard our names on the intercom.
That was weird. It was definitely
And
weird.
we were like, what? So we rushed to the gate, and literally the entire plane was on board. Everybody was on board. We walked in, and the salty looks that we got, even though we were early.
I
right?
always board right.
So-
I'm always there when they
So
board.
she's pretty about that. So it wasn't, the normal boarding time is 35 minutes before, and I think it was 45 minutes before. So we were packing up to go to make it for the boarding time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the names get called and everybody's salty because we're walking down the aisle by ourselves, and they're all looking at us like, and it was a full flight. They were stuck there until we got on board. But you know what? We were enjoying our wine at Vino Volo. I'm just saying, it was a lot of fun to do that. But yeah, I mean, we've had that experience with Vino Volo. I can't remember where that was though. Was that?
I can't remember either.
You guys are international too, right?
We have some locations in Canada. Yeah,
okay,
we
all
do.
right.
I think we were heading somewhere. Probably. I don't know where we. I mean, lots of times we had to find you guys because this is what we do. When we're flying somewhere, Gary goes on the phone, internet, and looks to where.
I look to see who's where.
No, you look to see where Vino Volo is.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
and it's like, oh man, it's like 3 concourses over. We can't get into this time.
Well, that's the beautiful thing I feel like about the PDX Vino Volo. It is a foreign language.
Yes, of course.
But we're a smaller international airport. It's like one of the best airports in the country, often voted that way actually. And it's very easy to navigate. Right now we are, and I saw an announcement today from the airport, in 9 months our brand new airport will be finished with construction.
Yeah, there's a lot of construction going on here.
We're beautifying things, we're bringing more trees in, and we're doing all these really cool things. And so you'll be able to traverse the entire airport again. Right now, you can only get to the 2 different wings through 2 different TSA
It's restricted,
setups. And so soon enough, we're going to be booming again down on this end.
So tell us what you're drinking.
Yeah, what do you have?
Yeah, so I chose a local wine actually, David Page Pinot Noir. He has just opened his brand new tasting room. He and his wife have started their own brand. David was the winemaker for Adelsheim for many years.
Yes, we've been there.
Yeah, it's a wonderful classic Oregon winery. So this is his own brand and his own label now. We're pouring it on our Oregon Trail flight right now.
Cool. So
nice.
he kind of just went off on his own after making wine for them. What we've discovered is winemakers are fairly friendly most of the time.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time they actually, even after they split off from the winery that they were working at, they're all like always talking. They go places together. I mean, it's ridiculously friendly.
I think that about the Oregon wine industry, especially because we're still sort of considered a young region, and we don't look at it really as like competition. We look at it as like camaraderie and community, and we're helping each other out. Obviously, we're have certain price points that we're trying to hit in other states, and there's competition on the shelf, but amongst the community, it is such a beautiful thing.
And that's a good thing because it's all about promoting the industry as a whole versus okay, of course I want to promote my own, but promoting it as a whole is even better.
I agree, because
I think you get that synergy from all the different
now
wineries.
You said something about the Oregon Wine Trail. Is that a tasting that you're doing?
We do, yeah. There go some announcements.
It's not us, thank you.
Because you left your credit card. It happens a lot.
Oh, I can believe it.
Pardon me. So the Oregon Wine Trail, yes, it is a option on the flight menu. Like I said, we do multiple flights, but then everything that's open for a flight can be purchased by the glass. And so we chose to do an Oregon wine flight. We get to control about half of our menu.
Oregon Wine Trail right here.
In store.
On this side of the menu.
Yeah. And so it's, right now we're featuring...
the David Page.
The David Page. Groschau Cellars Gamay Noir, and a Dolcetto blend from Day Wines. That's Brienne Day. They all have tasting rooms in kind of the north part of the valley. Brienne's on the main drag going through Dundee. David is, I believe, just right at the entrance of the Eola Amity Hills, if I'm not mistaken. And then Groschau has a new tasting room here in Portland. So it's really, we're pretty connected with these producers and like trying to promote them.
Well, yeah, and that's really good. I feel like we're from southeastern Pennsylvania, and I think our wine industry may even be newer than Oregon's wine industry. And so they're very chummy back and forth between wineries. We know of one winemaker, Gabriel, hey buddy, he has influence, in half a dozen wineries. And so he's focusing, so we have, by the way, for those of you who are just watching for the first time, we have Journey More Often, which is Diane and I. And then we have American Wine Journey, which is
With 1723.
Ben Cody from 1723 Vineyards. And then we have what's called Tipsy Tagalongs, which is only locally owned wineries, breweries, and distilleries. And
in
so
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Or period, actually. But yeah, so
We live close to Maryland and
there
Delaware. We can hit those
is.
as local.
I mean, we just started in January with the Tipsy Tagalongs, and I have a hat. I don't even know if I think the hat's underneath right now.
Oh, you got the TT right there on your. No.
Oh yeah, it's on the microphone.
On the
yeah.
Oh, it's the microphone. Yeah, that's the Tipsy Tagalongs. But we did Chadsford Winery, where Gabrielle works. But anyway, he does a lot of work with a lot of different places, and that's the way it is. Because you have to do that, and that's our goal with all three of those different podcasts. Our goal is to promote whomever we can. It's we don't actually really get anything specific out of it except for broadcasting and having fun and giving people a better education of wines and what to expect and how that works. And so now that I have said that, so when you when you give somebody a charcuterie board or something to eat, do you have wine recommendations that are on the list that you pair?
We don't have them specifically listed, but I think most of our food is pretty neutral on purpose because we're a wine bar.
Right.
And so you can kind of most of the time enjoy the things on the menu with almost anything that we're pouring. But of course, there's going to be pairings that are a little bit more exciting than others. And actually right now, funny enough, we have our Bubbles Flight, and it's featuring a sparkling Lambrusco, a traditional from, France and the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, Italy? Oh my God, I'm having a moment.
Yeah, Lambrusco.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was having a moment.
From where it's supposed to come from.
Yeah, from the actual region where Lambrusco actually grows and is produced, and is not the jug wine that we all know in this country as Lambrusco. But stylistically it is. It's a dark red sparkling wine, and it's just a tiny bit sweet, but it's also produced in the same region where they do Parmesan. And so I have been telling people that when I'm serving
yes,
it.
of
And
course,
then,
of course.
sneaking a little taste of Parmesan to everyone so they can see the pairing.
Right.
So I am actually doing that
Yes,
right now.
see, that's exactly, yeah. And you want to do that because most people don't realize what goes with what, and they're all confused. We did a burger pairing, and we had a blue cheese burger. Ben Cody and I did the American Wine Journey burger pairing, and the blue cheese burger, he was like, you know what, we're going to throw a port.
Yes.
Right? And everybody was like, what? A port? And so I actually had it. I was shocked. I mean, so we also had a Cab Sav, which is the expected wine that you would have with something like that. But the port was interesting because the blue cheese just went, and the sweetness of the port went, and it just like, it was unbelievable.
I mean, a great wine pairing can make or break your whole day.
Yeah.
I really feel like.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it definitely can complement the wine. When you have the right pairing, you just it just makes the experience.
So you do
much
have suggestions.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's what I thought.
Side note story. I used to help with the wine list at a burger place in my early days, and they had me do pairings with all their funny little burgers, and I paired a sweet wine with like a sweet red with their burger that had blue cheese on it.
Yeah.
So it's so classic. It's
Yeah.
so wonderful.
And you're not expecting it, I think, and that's what people are like, wait, that doesn't make sense to me. But that's the whole point of the pairing, is that it makes sense once you taste it. And so I didn't see any blue cheese here.
We don't have any currently.
Because you're trying to keep with the neutrals and
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have
and
to
it's tough because the more you branch out in the directional scenario with if it's focused on one specific taste, the less the popularity with people.
Sure.
And
it kind of a pigeonhole.
It's hard,
almost,
right?
in a
It's
way.
hard. So
yeah.
you got to go to Vino Volo for the blue cheese. No,
the whole
the charcuterie.
experience.
You go for the charcuterie board, which is really nice.
I almost
and,
also made you a pizzetta because those are my favorite things on
Oh,
the
yeah.
menu.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we've had it. Well,
Wait.
that's to set the flatbread.
Yeah, the little
The
flatbread.
flatbreads.
Yes,
Oh yeah, we've had the flatbreads. Oh
They
my
are- they are-
God,
they
we've had the
definitely
flatbread, and it would go well with the Syrah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. So yeah, we do like those. We'll probably have one later after the podcast.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say what I'm drinking, Gary.
Yeah. Oh
'Cause
yeah.
you have
Is it
I
over
don't-
here?
I don't speak French.
We'll let. Oh, it has a. Ooh, it has a Grenache and Sol and Tiburon.
So it's the Roseblood Rosé, which is actually on the list, to my knowledge, everywhere, at least in the U.S. right now at Vino Volo.
Nice.
That's one of our corporate selections that they made sure was available in every state, so
Right.
we could all pour it. So yeah.
Nice. What are you tasting in
It's
that
really
rosé?
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just definitely tasting fruit. It does have a hint of sweetness, but it's still definitely a
And
dry
that's
wine.
exactly what you
A
said
fruity
before
or
you
whatever,
served it,
yeah.
right?
So
It's more fruity than
yeah.
sweet.
It's fruit sweet, but it's possible
Dry.
it has a tiny bit of residual sugar in it, but that really just rounds out the mouthfeel and just really makes it, I don't know, very quaffable.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it went
so
well
all
with
three
the
of these
cheese.
are pretty
I have
good.
this cheese with it. I don't know which one this is
That's
called.
just a white cheddar.
Yeah, and it went well.
Is it
with
a
that.
Tillamook?
It sure is Tillamook.
Tillamook is a local cheese around here that we've discovered, which is really good. And it's only like right here in Oregon, which is pretty cool.
I think the ice cream gets out a little further.
Yes.
Maybe some of the
Yeah.
specialty cheeses, but it's like, it's religion here.
Yeah, well, and just
And we love our cheese. So,
we,
you know.
we do love cheese. And our breakfast food, we had a breakfast sandwich. So it was egg. She had eggs, bacon on an English muffin with the white cheddar Tillamook,
Yeah.
and it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really
I
good.
love to go out there on the coast. They have their little factory, and you can
Yeah.
you can tour it. And
We
get
We
drove
missed it
past
just- we
the
drove past
factory.
it, but we missed visiting.
So
it.
Next
we didn't do
time.
the tour. We didn't think about doing the tour. Next
Well,
time we'll be
we-
back. By the way, we will
we
be
were
back.
focused.
So
We
we do have
have-
family that lives in the area. So we are coming back again at some
Jeremy
point for
Triss.
sure. Jeremy and Triss, we're sorry that we had to go, but we had to go.
on to the next adventure. It sounds
Right? Yeah. So yeah, and right now the only no, actually we'll be heading to New York City after
Right.
after this.
Friday.
tomorrow.
So tomorrow we'll land in Philadelphia, and then we'll drive up to New York City on Friday.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
it's close.
And
Definitely.
close. Well, yeah, actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So you know, if
Depends
we
on the
can
traffic.
withstand the Friday traffic going into New York City. But let's talk more about Vino Volo. So it's primarily in mainland North America.
Yes.
Okay.
And some airports have more than one. Some of your larger airports may have them in different terminals.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Dallas
definitely.
maybe as well. And there's new ones popping up all the time. I'm from Oklahoma and I travel home a lot. And I am so excited that there's a Vino Volo there now. And it's been there probably just over a year.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is,
Are we flying in through Dallas?
huh?
Are we flying in through Dallas?
No, we're
Okay.
flying in through Austin.
Okay.
So no, we won't get the Dallas Vino Volo. I don't know. Maybe
should
there is
look.
one in
Maybe there's
Austin.
one in Austin.
I haven't checked Austin yet, but I will be doing that because we're going to Austin in the fall.
Do you know a really easy way to do that? We have an
They have
app.
a map. You have it. Oh
Vino
my
Volo has an
God!
app.
I have the Vino Volo app. What am I
Yeah, and
talking about?
It has our locations.
Yeah. Can I set
so you know.
reservations? Yeah.
No reservations, of course, because it's
During
so
COVID, I bet I
unpredictable.
could.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Traffic's so unpredictable. It
Right?
would be really tough to, because when there's a delay, we might get flooded for hours. Like, who knows? And we love that, and it's good to keep people.
And they
happy
can
when they're-
accommodate that,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way. I have seen a ton of
And
people.
I guess probably making reservations would be difficult because if flights are delayed and then all of a sudden you have this
Yeah, it is.
reservation
It
and
is.
somebody doesn't show and they can't
Yeah.
cancel, so you just probably it's
Yeah.
probably easier that way.
We can generally accommodate walk-ins, especially at this location. It's never really been
Well, you
an
have these
issue.
chairs all here too.
Oh, that's
so
true.
there's-
See, go
all these
take your
chairs.
wine out
You just
here.
don't get those cushy, nice chairs.
No, but when one comes available, you should grab it.
Yes.
But this is so.
I think the last time we were in Portland, was it Portland? Yes, it was Portland. We sat at those chairs. I have I posted that.
Oh, look on our website
Yeah.
to see if you can find those chairs. Maybe we'll do a scavenger hunt. The person who finds the picture of us in those chairs. Yeah, that's an idea.
We did a scavenger
We
hunt.
have done a scavenger hunt,
in,
yeah.
During COVID.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, on our website. You had to find stuff through our website to find things. Somebody wanted
So yeah,
they want a
$50. No, I Venmoed it to them.
Oh yeah,
It was just like that.
We didn't
Yeah.
know them. It was,
Yeah,
cool.
they were out in. I think they were. It was really funny because we had people from around, and they were. I think she was from Iowa,
Yeah.
and she got all this stuff, and it was pretty fun. So maybe we'll do another one at some point.
I think that's awesome. I
yeah.
love stuff like that.
Well, it was during COVID. Nobody was getting out. We're like, you know what? Let's just throw this out there, something for people to do. And
So we had like 20 items for people to find,
in their own home
Yeah.
or on our site.
and they varied.
Okay.
They varied,
So
yeah.
right
So
there.
it was a third of them were on the website, and 2/3 were you could find in at
And they
your
all had
house.
different values.
Yeah, they
I
had
think one
different
was
points
the-
for different values.
One was probably the longest distance you've flown,
Oh, that's
and you had
a
to
good
show
one.
proof.
You had to show proof, yeah.
So,
That's
like,
right.
if I've been to Sydney, Australia, I could show you like a picture of me there.
Pictures were hard. It was.
So we did, yes,
Did
we
we
did.
do that? But
So if you
somebody-
showed the,
You could.
Oh, you know what it was? One of our friends did it, and it
He
was in
showed a
Argentina-
picture
in
in
Argentina.
Argentina
but you couldn't
with
designate.
us.
You can't designate.
and I was like,
that as,
wait, you can't use us.
you can't use us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. I'm still sorry, Joe.
Joe was a little salty. He was like, but we were there. I'm like, sorry.
We were all there in Argentina together. We
But
spent
I
2 weeks
said, but you
together, by the way.
It was not fair to do that. We just said you have to
Yeah,
show
so we
some
so
sort of-
it had to be like if you showed yourself in front of what's the
Sydney
theater,
Opera
the Sydney
House?
Opera House,
I
or
have that photo.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have that photo.
I mean, I actually have one where I flew into Kyrgyzstan, and it's like welcome to the Kuwaiti airport kind of thing,
Yeah.
So it like just says it right there. I have one, Bienvenuto in Dominican Republic. So it had to be something along those lines.
Yeah, I can
and
remember.
I think she did go to. I think it was Central America, But anyway, it was
So
hysterical.
fun.
Yeah, so we did that. But we do feature a lot of wines. Some of the things one of the things on our website is about how to carry wine back home.
from a foreign country.
From
Oh, from a foreign country.
and it's 5 ways to bring wine back home.
Okay.
Well, the problem is that if you travel to like France or Argentina, the cost to ship it back is like a couple
A
$100.
case of wine could be like $220.
$220.
And it's
So we're
like you just and if you're buying local wines there, you could be paying $6 a bottle. Like for great wine, you're paying $6 a bottle, and then that times 12, it's $72, and suddenly you're paying $220 to bring $72 worth of wine home. So that's not palatable.
Yeah, but
so
they
we
need to
actually
they just need to check out the site.
if you go to the
site.
if you go to the website, we show you the 5 different ways to bring wine home. We actually we checked our case this time around.
Well, that's because you were bringing all the podcast equipment.
Now, are you flying Alaska?
No, I know.
No, I
Wait,
know,
go
I
ahead,
know.
go
So
ahead.
Not to
there, by the
promote
way,
a specific airline, but this
Katie
is,
brings up a good point.
This is beneficial to the Oregon wine industry, and since we're here at the top of the Willamette Valley, I should share. Oregon wines fly free with Alaska, and so basically you could bring several cases, and if it's full of Oregon wine, you can check it as a free bag.
Boom.
And so coming home from, that's right, mic drop. If you are coming home from Oregon, you can ship it straight from the winery, of course, domestically, no matter what region you're in, if they have the right licenses. We'll get into that, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like
It's gotten better.
Yeah, it has. But
gotten way
you can.
better.
Oregon wines fly free with Alaska, and so you can. And a couple of other airlines are sort of like picking up on.
So
it.
They should pick that up.
We're going to be
Yeah,
probably flying American Airlines via Alaska.
There you go. But
We're going to pick their flights.
I think that they just did the same thing with the Washington Wine Board or whatever their organization is. I think they also
so
now
now
have a
there's 2
Washington wine
states.
situation as well with
Is that going to
Alaska.
shame California into doing that?
Nope. Does California do it? I mean,
No, California. California is actually fairly friendly. We got to the San Francisco airport.
But this was
we
way
had-
before COVID, though.
This
so
was
I don't know if it's changed.
like 2 years before COVID. So we got to the airport. We have 2 cases of wine that we're going to check in, and we go to the curb check, and the guy goes, "What's in there?" And I'm like really hesitant to tell him, and he's like, "It's wine, isn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's wine." He goes, this is not our first rodeo. And he slaps both boxes with all sorts of colored stickers like fragile and wine. And he's like, this stuff is going to be taken care of. Yeah, so
great.
it was the guy was awesome. I tipped him a lot
Well,
because
he deserved it.
yeah, he actually he made my day
care of
and
us.
and he took care of us. And then when we got to Philadelphia, right? This was really funny. You know how everybody bunches up at the luggage baggage claim. Everybody bunches up. So our first box was I think one or two coming off.
Oh wow.
And so I'm like, excuse me, because everybody else is bunched there, And I picked the box up, and then I just barely got it back to Diane, and then I saw the second box, and I went over, excuse me, right? And I got the second box, and I brought it back to Diane. I go over there, and then suddenly this guy hands me a third box. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
that's not mine. But he was willing to give it to me. I'm like, somebody's going to be salty if I take this.
Yeah, I'll take my wine.
But it was really funny. I mean,
rather
they just
lose my bag.
They were going to just hand us all the wine that came on baggage claim, right?
That's hilarious.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now we have. I like to switch over a little bit. I like to talk a little bit more about Willamette Valley and wines, and some of the best ways to experience that, okay? And rumor has it that you have a venture that does that. That helps people experience it. Now, we've done it. We will tell you, we've paid in other countries to do wine tastings and to go to different places. And so we've done it, I think, in Argentina. We've done it in Italy. We've done it in Spain. France, we did our own thing. But we've paid to have a tour in Santa Ynez Valley. We literally hired a limo driver. A little pricey. That probably it was our best bet from a drinking and driving standpoint, but we may
It was
have,
also our pretty first experience.
yeah,
in
it was
that
our
area,
first wine
so
tasting experience. So we were just like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
But
You guys have something?
rumor has it that Katie does
I
this.
sure do. I started my very own wine tour company this year, and I've been in the wine industry professionally for almost 15 years, and I've worked in Oregon for about 11 years. I've managed a couple of different vineyard tasting winery tasting rooms and things, and like a lot of people through COVID kind of decided to like shift gears and take the opportunity to like do something fresh. And I have done wine tours in the past for other companies, like on the side for a friend, and I really, really enjoyed it. And
You're the really cool person who gets all the tips.
no, where that happens, and it does happen. But I decided to start my own company, so I got an LLC. Bought a brand new van, and I'm taking people to wine country.
Totally legit. I love it. I love it.
But I do. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of connections in the Willamette Valley just from my time there, and friendships. And I lived down there for a long time, and I just decided it was time to take that passion and that energy and put it into something that was, frankly, going to benefit me, but also like.
But you're sharing.
I'm sharing the knowledge,
Right.
And we can just go to places and look at the view, or we can go and have like a cellar tour, a vineyard tour, and do something really, really like in depth. I kind of provide it all, and I have the connections.
Nice.
But the company is called Scissortail Wine Tours.
There you
I'm
go.
from Oklahoma, and so the Scissortail flycatcher is our state bird, and it's really beautiful. And I just sort of wanted something to remind me of home.
So is that .com? Scissortailwinetours.com?
That's right.
Okay. Because you never know with so many, like we're journeymooreoften.today.
Uh-huh.
We also have .com, journeymooreoften.com, but journeymooreoften.today. Because why not?
Yeah.
Why not journey more often today?
I think
Scissortail.
I also bought the .wine version of
There
your
you go.
website,
There it is.
but
There it
just
is.
so
I was
nobody's
wondering.
tried to take
Okay.
it, but,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty active on Instagram and Facebook as well, and you can kind of reach out to me however you want if
So
you're interested in visiting the
you can
Willamette
either book a
Valley.
tour through your website or connect through the Instagram
Yeah, send me a
message
message.
because it's real easy
Anywhere,
nowadays.
all the places.
Yeah, because she checks her messages.
And I will
Like
admit,
the rest of us don't, but she does.
and I will admit, going, you know, when you're just kind of like venturing out, sometimes it's helpful to have a tour just to give you a good perspective of the wide varieties of vineyards that are out there. So, you know, it's nice to do that. I mean, it's fun to do it on your own, but you kind of can get lost, you know.
And you can also end up in places that, so Katie can customize your tour to what she thinks your best experience will be.
Yeah, well, I always ask people, like, what's the intention of your tour day, you know?
Right.
Like I said, do you just want to have a glass of wine and check out the views and go to some beautiful places?
Oh my
Or
God, the
do you
views,
want- I know.
the views around Oregon.
Or do you just
are
want some good wine?
Because yeah.
Or are you looking to fill your cellar while you're here? You know, we can take you to some really exclusive places that are going to be like worth sharing with your friends.
Yeah.
Just
Or
depends
getting a
on-
membership.
Also that. Wine clubs are awesome.
We've done that a couple
we
times.
We have more than one wine club
Yeah.
because shipping is a lot better than it used to be.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Thank you, state governments, for doing that. But yeah, so you customize their experience based on what their purpose is, what their intent of the tour is, and that's pretty cool, actually.
Well, a lot of places just go to their favorite 3 wineries
Right.
every day.
Right?
And sure, if
Yeah.
that works for you, there's nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't work for us.
But I myself, I have to go too, and I enjoy it, and I want a variety in my life.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to get to catch up with the people who work there. Maybe some friends are there, whatever. And so I get to like stay over to the side while you guys taste and have your experience.
Of course.
And then we can, like I said, I can geek out about wine for a long time. But if you don't want that, I don't have to do it.
So now, when you go there, if they're giving a wine tasting, do you interject back and forth, or you let them do the wine tasting, right? Because I have to be honest with you, I've literally never seen somebody who's doing the tour jump in, unless it was like their winery, you know. But other than that, I've never seen anybody
Or unless
jump
it's
in.
one-on-one.
So
Sorry, we won't put this
there's
on.
an inside
we
joke
won't
in
put
here.
that one on now. That's just we'll tell you later.
yeah. Well,
I think
You're gonna have a second.
I think we have that on.
oh no,
our-
it's on the blog.
It's on the blog.
It's 2 pages on the blog, not just one. It's 2 pages on the
that's a
blog.
funny story.
Yeah, we had a
was in Italy.
singular experience. We were literally the only ones in the original wine tour.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what.
And it was
Read our
fun,
blog.
and it was a blast. By
And
the way.
it was one of the best. It was
Yeah,
one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best we've ever had. But it was definitely not
Traditional.
the typical
It was not
experience at all. Worth the money, but not the typical experience. But yeah, I mean, but if you want something that's customized, you know, Katie can help you out. You know, she's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then you're going to answer all those questions, hopefully, and hopefully truthfully, because that's how she gets to get you the best experience, you know, for that.
Yeah, perfectly curated tours. I really just enjoy it. It's so much fun.
It does sound like it.
Yeah, I've also been known to like help with dinner reservations and things
Oh
like
my God.
that. You
That's
know?
a good personalized.
Suggesting things for tomorrow
So
without me.
Katie's
you
a
know?
concierge as well.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I
Yeah.
enjoy making sure people have a great time.
And who, I mean, realistically, you know, who knows better than somebody who's doing tours already? You know where those restaurants are, and then you can customize the restaurant experience.
Exactly.
In addition to, so now you have, I want to say you have half day tours and whole day tours.
I do full day tours. It's
Okay,
typically
so
3
it's-
stops. I'll
okay.
pick you up either in, you know, typically in Portland. I'm based in Portland.
Okay.
But then take you to wine country. Usually we'll do a stop at like 11, 1, and 3. We'll have lunch at our second stop, which I provide. I made that, so it's pretty.
Oh my
was
God, there it
spilled
is,
on
there it
Oh,
is.
it's
Wait,
fine. Those are just
wait,
crackers.
I'm
Don't worry.
jumping in. Yeah,
I've been jumping in. It's going well with
do
the
it.
wine.
there were only crackers hurt in the production of this video. And
But
we're sorry.
So providing lunch, again, something sort of neutral and exciting that,
Mm-hmm.
will go with wines. And yeah, I'm also one of few people that I know for sure that has been on the other side of the wine bar when it comes to, wine experience. And
Okay.
so a lot of tour guides are incredible and they've been doing it for a million years, but I bring a fresh perspective, I think, because I've got a lot of experience in the actual wine industry working at these wineries that I'm now returning to and bringing guests to.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that idea. It's a great idea. And you're all legit in the sense of you have like the licensing and the insurance and all that. I mean, the minute you said LLC, I'm like, yeah, she's got it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like an actual business adventure.
And, and it's a challenge. Trust me. We Journey More Often is, a business as well. And so you have these challenges with any business, especially small business. And people need to favor the small businesses, which is one of the reasons we're here. That we're not, we understand that Vino Volo itself isn't a small business, but they support small businesses as part of their business. And Katie has her own small business, which is pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's been a little quiet out here this year as far as like tourism.
It's been quiet today.
Well, yeah. But like in the valley, I feel like it's been a little bit more quiet this year. So if you were thinking about coming out to Oregon, like this is the time to do it, because there's a lot more exclusivity right now and special treats because I think everybody's making up for their missed trips in Europe right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a little quiet out here.
We actually went to Europe during COVID, but we didn't do wine tasting there. We missed that. Oh, wait.
Which one was our last trip in Europe?
Switzerland.
Oh, yeah, because Switzerland's not known.
Switzerland.
We did do a wine tasting in
in Liechtenstein. We did a wine tasting in Liechtenstein. That was intriguing, I think. It was different.
Yeah.
Was that that was
owned by the
by the state, by the prince.
The
prince, yeah, it was owned by the prince. Yeah, so we had to, because we were in Liechtenstein. We decided we were going to do that.
What kind of wine was it?
Reds, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
they did have a brandy as well.
Yeah, they offered other things besides wine. They had
the brandy, usually winemakers make
talk
brandy.
about a charcuterie board. We didn't get that.
We just saw it. We should have gotten it. We had just eaten, though.
We
had just eaten. So we had gone to this really incredible Italian restaurant in Liechtenstein. Now, whether you think, okay, wait a minute, that's like if you're thinking that doesn't really flow, but the borderline of Italy is very close to Liechtenstein, and that border has gone back and forth a few times over the centuries, and so. It was some of the best bolognese I've ever had. Yeah. Oh my God. It was really good. Great wine with it.
Can you tell that we are also foodies?
So
you just
we're
made
foodies.
me wish for fall, and I'm not wishing for fall, but that sounds really good.
Yeah. So it was really exceptional. We had fun in Liechtenstein.
Oh, we did. It was just a quick stop. I think,
we rented a car for the day and we went down there and we just
I think if we could have enjoyed it more if we spent a little bit more time, but
it is
what it is.
It wasn't for lack of trying, because I did actually look for overnight accommodations in Liechtenstein, and it was just difficult to navigate. It wasn't impossible, and because of how our trip was structured, it didn't work. But if your trip was structured differently, then it would have. But we rented a car for the day in Switzerland, in Zurich. We drove. It was 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's so easy.
How close is that?
Yeah.
It's like, from here, where you could drive up to Washington State
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, from here it's like 10 minutes, maybe. In traffic.
Depending
10
on
minutes.
the traffic.
10 minutes
now,
in
do
traffic.
you go all the way up to Washington with your wine tours?
I don't currently, no.
Ooh, or out east? Do you go east? How do you focus on Willamette Valley?
Yeah,
We shouldn't just say only Willamette Valley, because Willamette Valley has how many vineyards?
Gosh, over 1,000, I think, bonded wineries and
a lot.
vineyards. Yeah,
a lot.
That just means like individual brands, but we have a lot to choose from here.
Like a lot, and we've been to a smattering of the vineyards in Willamette Valley, and we've been pleasantly not surprised, just pleasantly presented. The wine's been phenomenal. We went to one vineyard that had their wine tasting was all Pinot Noirs.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I was like, how's that going to work? You're thinking, how's that? And all 5 of them were different. And I'm like, now you just freaked me out. Like, literally freaked me out.
I mean, terroir and microclimates, it's a thing.
Now she's talking terroir. She knows what she's talking about. It's really true.
It's a true thing. And, we grow world-class Pinot Noir here, and I think it's being recognized. As I said, we're still a bit of a young region, but we we're holding our own.
Well, Pinot Noir grape is a very delicate grape.
Extremely.
So it's if I recall, it's a small grape.
Yeah, the yields are really a lot lower with Pinot Noir than they are with, say, like Merlot or Cabernet. They can't take the heat, which is why we also don't grow Merlot and Cabernet here, because our weather is suited for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay and those types of things, the Burgundian grapes. But yeah, the yields, Pinot Noir, people often think it's expensive because they don't understand sort of the background. And so to briefly tell you that, you can get about 12 tons to the acre for Cabernet, and you can only get like 4 really, ideally, with Pinot Noir. And we also crop back even lower than that depending on what's going on.
Yeah, and it's difficult because that yield, that has an effect on the price.
Absolutely.
When you can produce less per acre, and when you're not a farmer and you're not thinking about yield per acre, you're just thinking about, why is my wine cost X dollars,
right?
And those kinds of things. And then when you go south to Napa Valley, you're good. You're good. When you go south,
only wine I've had today, I promise.
The yield per acre drops even further, but you get this incredible grape that comes off of it, which makes it that much more expensive.
Well, and I think too, in Oregon, we are kind of purists, and we're only allowed to put Pinot Noir in the Pinot Noir bottle. If on the label it says it's Pinot Noir, I believe the law is it has to be 99% Pinot Noir.
Really?
And the only reason they left the 1%, to my understanding, is so during the barrel aging process, like an intern might have made a mistake and put a little bit of something else into a barrel, and so that 1% is really just a silly fake wiggle room thing. But in California, and nothing against this because these wines are beautiful as well, but they're allowed to put up to 25% other grapes in with their Pinot Noir and not disclose it. And so often you have 75% Pinot Noir out of a bottle of Pinot Noir there that's actually 25% Viognier, and that's to bulk it up, right? It's to make it, because give it a different flavor. Yeah, well, it's to bulk it up, and so you don't get as much because you don't get the yields, and so they can kind of fake it till they make it a little bit with the Pinot. So we're pretty serious about that with our Pinot Noir here for sure.
And there's no reason not to in a lot of ways, because otherwise you'd be bringing grapes in from other places.
And some people do that, but they don't. They tell you what it is.
It's a red blend, not Pinot Noir.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And that's that. So the dynamics of that are just so staggering when you think about how many.
My God,
I'm just not used to having a microphone in front of me while I'm drinking wine.
We should put a flag on the microphone. Yeah,
make it yellow.
Not on Katie, on the microphone. So
as long as it's not a red flag, it'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we're pretty good with that. There's really nothing much going on here, so it's been pretty quiet, which is nice. So. Anything else that you'd like to bring up at this point?
Oh my gosh. Well, I just think that people should really consider finding Vino Volos when you're traveling. It's most of the time it's a pretty relaxing spot to just sort of hang out and chill and take a deep breath before you have to get on an airplane.
Or even take a deep breath when you just got off the airplane.
Oh, yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
We get a lot of people for layovers and stuff, but we also get people traveling for business who are just staying right here near the airport. And yesterday I had a gal who was like, my hotel is just 5 minutes down the road, but I just was ready to get on my computer and have a glass of wine. And I was like,
exactly.
Nice.
A good glass of wine. You can get a good local glass of wine. You can get an international glass of wine.
Absolutely.
But it's a great, and having been to a few in different places, they're pretty quiet for the most place. You can have a conversation, and it's not like going on the train. When you have a conversation on the train, everybody's like, shh. I'm like, no, this is not a quiet car. But in Vino Volo, it's pretty nice because you can have that conversation, and it's not like we're being broadcasted all throughout the place. And I think the acoustics are pretty good in there, and it allows you to have a good quiet time, whether you're with just by yourself or with a friend or that kind of thing. So it's a really nice experience there. For us, we're getting ready to start the red eye, Our red eye starts in a few hours. Yeah, so we're flying from here to Phoenix, and then we're flying from Phoenix back home. So but it's a good, and it's the good unwind to the vacation week. So we had a great week.
Yeah.
We had a great week with Jeremy and Tris, and now we're just kind of like, okay, so we got to go back home and get back into the swing of things. Vino is the perfect place to let us start that transition back in, and that's what we love about it, is that it works that way. Especially when you're flying domestic, it's a perfect opportunity to just
chill,
chill
relax.
and unwind.
I go to the airport early always because I do have to have that like pre-flight glass of wine. So I used to hang out here a lot when I was traveling more. So always go early so you have some time.
Well, not too early, because we came in early and we weren't literally. So their software, and we're not blaming anybody. The software won't let you check in 4 hours is early. So we knew we were going to do this podcast. So I thought, we'll drop the car off, we'll check in, and then we'll just be here. And fortunately, we do have time that we can relax and do this. But I thought, it'll be cool. We get in and we're like 35 minutes before check-in time, and they're like, we can't check you in. And I weren't rude about it.
Of course.
But I thought, okay, so I'll go to the kiosk, the electronic kiosk, and I'll get my tags at least, right? And then we can check in after. You can't even get your tags because the software prohibits everybody from checking in earlier than 4 hours. And I hope to God our checked luggage makes it back home.
It'll be there. I was working one morning and was flying out later that afternoon, and I had the same issue. I was like, I'm going to have to go back out to my car.
Had to go back out.
In the employee lot to go back and get my bag because I was here for 6 hours,
I don't even know how that works. That must be really challenging.
It's fine. Here, at least here at PDX, we have a really wonderful system to get the employees free parking, and then we get here. But yeah, it's a few extra steps for sure. But
I can tell you, a few years ago, we flew through. There were 10 of us, and the flight that we were on was we were flying back to Philadelphia via Chicago. But we were going to Connecticut. Okay.
Okay.
The flight that we were on was so far delayed. Yeah. So we were.
So I was picturing that on the map.
Yeah. So we were going to have friends pick us up at the airport, and they were going to drive us straight to Connecticut. Well,
you like that, Mike?
The flight got delayed here in Oregon, in Portland, and we ended up having to. And so I asked the person behind the gate. I said, "Hey, we have a problem, and I think you can solve it." He goes, "Why? How's that work?" I said, "So we understand from somebody who's at our gate that we can fly from Connecticut through Chicago. Wait a minute, sorry, from Portland to Chicago to Connecticut directly, which is where we're actually going." Mm-hmm. I said, and we're going to miss our connector flight to Philadelphia. So if you do that for us, we'd be most grateful.
Right.
And so they actually took me down into this is before a lot of things happened. Yeah, this is before 9/11. So they actually took me down underneath, and I tagged everybody's bags personally.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
They were like, so they let me do it, and ironically, the only person's bag who in Connecticut it didn't show up was my bag.
You poor thing.
No, it was okay. So I know what to do because they're pretty good about it. If you're
just always be nice.
Yeah. So if you do that, you share about it. You're not a mean person. They will actually bring it to your hotel. We've had our check bags brought to our house. So it just. We had one. The last time we were here in Oregon, they took it all the way down to Crater Lake.
Oh, man. I have some horror stories, too, but the worst one, I feel for my sister is on her honeymoon. Her bag, they were in the Caymans or something, and her bag didn't show up when they landed in Florida, then to like get on the ship. And so she had to like be on a cruise ship with the clothes on her back for like the first 3 days, and they delivered it to like an island.
Yeah.
I mean,
they,
and
they
she
did.
got it back.
They did.
but
They get it back. Yeah.
they-
I mean,
they-
they're usually
they
pretty good
do-
about it, but
they do their best.
it's not
do their
easy. It's not easy. Fortunately, they do have stores on the ship, so
Yeah.
you
But
know.
nobody
How-
wants to. Nobody wants to spend money when they.
So, all right. Well, we've had a really good time. I think this is great. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is Katie from.
Scissortail Wine Tours and
Sizzle.
Vino Volo, of course. I'm this microphone and I. This is hilarious.
Well, if you're not used to the microphone, so you notice my hands are planted on my thighs here, so I don't like do that
Yeah.
because I talk
Do
with
the
my
same.
hands as well. It's a lot easier when we're in the studio because those mics are bigger and bulkier and they don't move. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate your being around, and hopefully you got a lot out of this as we did. And until the next time,
Journey more often.
enjoy life.
So sweet.